I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
DD's Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DD's Daiquiris. DD is spelled DEEDEE. You can also find us at www.dd'sdaiquiris.com. DD's Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Our approach to relationship counseling is through a culturally relevant systems perspective. More Grace offers services virtually for people living in the state of Missouri. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore. Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, basically everywhere you find your podcasts. Please share the show and use the hashtag #ManListen. I'm your host, Mara B. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. C, what's up with you?
Hey, what's good?
It's all good. It's all good. Arika, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good. Last but not least, my brother Lab. What's up, man?
How's it going? How's it going?
A lot in the news today. Joe Biden, a lot of people's favorite. A lot of people, got a problem with Joe. He drug it out. He drug out his nomination for the vice presidential candidate. But today he finally made the announcement, and he announced that it would be Senator Kamala Harris from California. There was a lot of rumors about it possibly being being Susan Rice, part of the Obama camp, but today they announced that it was Senator Kamala Harris. A lot of people are very happy about this selection. Some people were a little bit less enthused. The debate has already started on people's thoughts about this ticket. A lot of people not impressed with Joe Biden, not impressed with Kamala Harris, but more people are saying, you know what, it's whoever, as long as it's not Trump. So we're going to go ahead and give our opinion on this topic on Senator Kamala Harris and her selection as the vice presidential candidate. What y'all think about it? Were y'all impressed? Were you just like, man, or what? What were your thoughts?
I'm not impressed. During her whole presidential campaign, really, the only thing she talked about, helping or benefiting was immigrants. So I don't really have a stake in that. So I mean, she doesn't. I think Joe spoke too soon saying he needed a black woman. And so I think he really didn't have a plan. And she just probably I guess is what he thought was the best one. I don't know. I'm not impressed though.
Well, I definitely think he pinned himself in a corner by saying that he was going to be a woman. And I think that the Democratic Party has taken for granted and kind of overlooked Black women when Black women are such an integral piece to their success. I think they've made some mistakes. I personally think that President Obama should have nominated a Black woman to the Supreme Court. He did appoint one as the Attorney General, but I think that there was a missed opportunity there. So I think that they have finally heard and listened to the comments that are made by a lot of Black people who are saying that, listen, I'm not really impressed with the Democratic Party. I'm not really enthused. And you can see when you have a candidate who isn't really the best candidate, who's flawed. We saw that with Hillary, and you don't give people a reason to go out and vote. You do see some lack of enthusiasm and lack of motivation from your voter base. And when you compound that with the high amount of voter suppression that the Republican Party has been putting into place to try to suppress the Black vote, to try to suppress the immigrant vote, to try to suppress the young vote, it's a problem. So I wasn't impressed with Senator Kamala Harris as a presidential candidate. A lot of her record as an attorney general out in California, I really didn't agree with. Said I'm still going to vote for her because Trump is just a fool and he's dangerous, and we got to put somebody in there to replace him. So that's just where I stand.
I think people's problem is whether or not that ticket can beat Trump. Because if there's a lot of people that have a problem with Kamala, and then like I saw some people say Joe lost his vote because they chose Kamala, and these are ADOS people that said that, and I'm just like, well, who has your vote? That's my question. Like, I'm not necessarily over the moon about Kamala because I had concerns about her prosecutorial history too, but I mean, I have concerns about my history from last month, so I'm not necessarily trying to nail her to the cross over it, but I mean, it's something to have concerns about if you're going to be running our country. But to say that Joe lost her vote, I just need to know, so what's the alternative? So who has your vote if Joe lost your vote? Because that's what I need to know.
Why did Joe have it anyway? The only reason he has it is because he's not Trump.
How did Joe get your vote?
Right.
Joe already told me I'm not Black, so.
I do think, though, that they need to explain why this ticket is important. And just saying, well, it's not Trump, is not good enough.
It didn't work with Hillary.
Yeah, and I want to get Lav in to get his opinion, but I want to come back to that piece. This whole intimidation, just shut up and vote, that's not going to work, and it's not going to make them more successful in this coming election.
Yeah, I think the it's not Trump is honestly that's probably what they're riding with for a lot of this. That's why Biden hasn't been doing a lot of rallies, obviously besides the pandemic, but he hasn't been saying a lot. He's just going to say, I'm the anti-Trump. I'm going to let Trump go out here and say foolish stuff and tweet about nonsense and stuff like that, and I'm not him. And he's hoping that there's going to be a lot of people who, quite frankly, like you said, if this is turning you away from Biden, you wasn't going to vote for Biden anyway, probably. So he's hoping to get the people that he knows they're going to vote for him, right? There's a certain segment, but I think he's trying to angle for those people who voted Trump in 2016, who are looking for somewhere else to go. So his plan of action, in my opinion, is just to lay low, not say nothing, and let Trump dig himself a hole.
And, when you talk about Trump digging himself a hole, I think Biden is getting good counsel because, honestly, if it wasn't for the pandemic and Joe had the ability to run his mouth more, he probably would talk himself out of this election because he just can't get out of his way and say stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Right. He was talking to Charlamagne, talking about if you ain't voting for Joe Biden, you ain't Black, and all this different mess. And the reason why people got
last week,
where
he said the Latino community, unlike the African American community, is diverse in thinking, basically. That kind of stuff.
See, and that's the problem that the Democrats don't get, and that's the problem that I feel a lot of what I call elitist Blacks have a problem with is you just can't talk to people any type of way. Right. You just can't handle people any type of way because listen, I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. I lived through Reaganomics. I lived through both Bushes. And yeah, it was tough. But, you know, we'll be all right. Do I want Trump to continue? Absolutely not. Do I want them to be able to secure the Supreme Court so they can't use the judicial branch to oppress us? Absolutely. But what happened to politicians wooing voters? Why do you feel like that's the way to convince somebody to give them your vote, to give you their vote?
Well, I think Democrats are just like game managers. Like, I almost feel like they're okay just being in the game, and if they win a couple, it's like, oh, okay, I won. But I don't feel that they even prepared a ticket 4 years ago that they were even thinking about beating Trump.
Right.
They're the Marty Schottenheimer of politics.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, and Andy Reid early on was the same way. They just
right.
Even Alex, they was just managing the game, and that's how I feel right now.
Right, but that whole I'm not Trump campaign didn't work for Hillary, and it's definitely not going to work for Biden because he do a lot of the same stupid stuff. They both look like halfway senile old men to me, and I'm like,
but man,
like you said, we're not diverse. I'm not black apparently because I didn't want to vote for Joe. And me, I was Team Elizabeth Warren, so I wouldn't have been upset if she was his VP. And my husband was Yang Gang, so I mean, we're not over the moon with Biden and Harris, but like I said, I mean, shoot, it's a rock and a hard place at this point because I don't even know any of the Libertarian or the Green Party candidates, and we know they're not on the ticket in all the states. So at this point,
that's a waste of vote.
Listen, listen.
We know
you
y'all
vote for Ye if you want to.
Hey.
You know y'all
I'm gonna make
Kanye.
you wear them new Kanye shoes. You vote for Ye.
Lab, you was like anti Kamala for a while, or however you say her first.
I was too.
Oh, okay.
I was too.
You know what? I'm not gonna say I was anti. It was just I was kind of like.
You said you weren't gonna vote.
I did say that. Well, I said if he choose her, I wasn't, and kind of go to mindset of, man, I done been through 4 years. Should I do another 4? Because what happens is if they win, that sets you up for 8 of what they got going on.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people that might think it's better to regroup after 4 and then go at it again.
Yeah. When
you have a better candidate and flesh out a better platform and everything like that in 4 years. Where even if Trump wins again, I think he's going to lose as much support. He's going to get some senators changed. That'll flip. He's going to get the House already isn't his. So with him being the president, if he doesn't have that overwhelming majority, a lot of his stuff that he can do is tampered a little bit. So.
Oh no, we got to protect the Supreme Court. RBG is literally hanging on till election
she's literally
time.
hanging on. She's literally hanging on.
Oh,
but see, this is the thing where it comes back to, like you said, the Supreme Court and things like that. What happens is, and it goes back to Obama and kind of the criticism of Kamala is, what we have to realize is that they can't get him in a position of power and make those changes because they're still under the construct, the American system. And so there's nothing that they're going to be able to do that's going to be able to make a change for real unless the entire system changes. And so we just got to take it incrementally, piece by piece, local election, move your way up and things like that. So.
But with the Supreme Court, that's a little bit different because that's a lot of
Supreme Court,
pending that usually it's just one vote away from it going the total opposite way. And if they start reversing stuff like Roe v. Wade, it seems like it's always in the balance. They can't wait to stop women from being able to get abortions and stuff like that. So I don't know, RBG, we need her to keep hanging on so we can get Trump out. That's why I'm like, man, I don't care. Biden can call me non-black all he wants to. I'm still gonna fight for his little goofy ass.
And
Biden
Biden
did not what he was saying too. He wasn't really saying people weren't black, but I mean, I'm hashtag settling for Joe 2020.
Man, listen, for me personally, I definitely get the Supreme Court and why that's important, because you can see where white men are dwindling off. They can't win with just white men without bending the rules, without suppressing the vote. And they realize that. And that's exactly why they are attacking Roe v. Wade, because they realize we're not making no babies. And, they are dying off. They are dwindling off. So the only way that they can remain in power is through the judicial system. That's why you have Lindsey Graham saying, hey, listen, we need y'all to start retiring so we can start putting younger people in, younger Republican-leaning judges in, because they want to control the judicial system. Because as the population continues to trend towards being more heavily Hispanic, it's going to change. They're not going to be able just to win by the regular vote. They've already lost 2 elections through the popular vote, and they only won through the Electoral College. So they see the writing on the wall. My problem with what you said, Lab, is Trump knows how to wield power. Even if he's been in the rules, even if people are saying like, man, you can't do that, you can't do that, he's proven that he don't give a damn. Y'all don't want to do something for unemployment, guess what? I'll sign an executive order. When he came in, all that stuff with Obama, all that stuff that Obama did, I'm gonna go ahead and sign these executive orders and try to reverse all that. He's showing how to wield power much better than Obama did. And that's just true. So for me, that's why it's important for us to try to get Trump out, because they are committed to preserving and maintaining white supremacy. And we need to go all out. And I just think that the approach, I'm already sick of it. I mean, when Kamala was announced, this was around 3-4 o'clock, I believe, Central Standard Time. And I expected to see most of the people who were like, yeah, Ross Mumbai, all the Howard alumni, all the AKAs, all the Black women. And okay, that's cool. That's fine. But once you get past that, you have to remember that we are a small subset of the Black community. And when you got so many Black people who don't have wealth, who are struggling, what difference does it make who I'm voting for? I was poor under Obama. I was poor under Bush. You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make? So if you don't come and make a convincing argument other than, well, it ain't Trump, what's the difference for them? What really is the difference for those Black people? And I've yet to find somebody who is willing to articulate that in a way, not to convince me, because I get it, but to say, okay, Black voters, this is why you should be motivated. And when you come with the whole, because pretty soon now you'll start to see, oh, it's the Russian bots that fooled you, stupid Black Negroes again. You see how they blamed it on us, but they never want to blame the people who were really at fault. Black people are 13% of the population, but you don't have no fire, no smoke for the white women that voted for Trump. You have nothing for them. So I already see this trending towards a way that it's going to be very divisive and very, very annoying. And I don't think we really as a community can afford to deal with that. But I just want people to really open up their mind to how they present their candidate, Jim Crow Joe and Kamala Harris.
Man.
Because you know why they call him Jim Crow Joe? Because back in the day he was like, quote unquote, for segregated busing back in the day. So that's why they call him Jim Crow Joe. So he's got and people talking about Trump being the problem. What if he's got to atone for the crime bill?
Yeah, he wrote it.
He got to atone for the crime bill.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Between her stance on crime and Joe's, I don't even know what we're looking forward to.
Well, see, this is the thing, though, honestly, the crime bill, that's a huge deal. But there were also a lot of Black politicians and Black leaders who were standing toe-to-toe with them guys saying, I agree with this. This is what we need. So it wasn't, you can't just
they're not running for president. That's a tough argument because they're not running for president.
I understand that. What I'm saying is you're basically saying everybody over a certain age that was in leadership at that point, you can't run. That's basically what you're saying.
They get the same fire. They got to atone for it. How are you going to atone for
it? He can't atone for it. There's nothing you can do to atone for it. Absolutely nothing. So you just have to.
Sure about that?
Reparations.
There's an R word. There's an R word we talk about.
Okay.
A lot of people talk about. There's an R word we talk about.
R word is called reality. There's nothing he can do to atone for that. That's the R word. Reality.
But even Obama didn't even talk about reparations. You really think Biden is going to do it?
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, he'll pander. He'll throw it out there.
He'll
He'll pander
pretend.
to black folks.
Even
But
in
that's why I be
Are you
like,
sure?
man,
Are you sure he's gonna do that? Are you sure he's gonna do that? Because his vice
Yeah.
presidential candidate didn't do it. Kamala didn't do it. So I
sure
don't see why
didn't.
the government
No.
does
It's
it.
not going to happen.
No,
They're
she
not
can't.
going to
She
push
can't.
it.
Yeah, he will though. He'll throw it out there.
I
But nobody
I
sees
think
that. Nobody
ask
sees
him.
that as a problem, though.
I
Like I'm
do.
not trying. I'm not trying to sway people. I'm not trying to sway people not to vote for Biden. I'm not trying to say don't vote for Biden, don't vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not trying to say that. But what I'm trying to say is like they still have to answer for the problematic history that they have. And if we just say no, you don't. If we just say no, you don't, we're just gonna give you a pass. Then that just allows any and everybody to kick us around like they have been for years. When are we going to take a stance and say, listen, do right by black people? Just putting Kamala in as the vice presidential candidate, and don't get me wrong, she's more than capable. She is articulate. She's articulate. She goes after them. She's the bomb when it comes to that. Do I like her everything about her? Absolutely not. But you still got to atone for that. It's going to be a lot of hills for them to overcome, to make a lot of people really say, you know what? All right, I'm going to vote for them without any question.
And I think that's the point. We get it. We get the pushback against them. It's just you got to balance evils. But I'm sick of having to do that, though.
Hey, man, I hate to sound like an anarchist, but straight up, you're going to have to do that for your lifetime living in these United States of America. It's not going to be something that changes overnight. So all we can do is continue to just push the bar forward just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. It's not going to happen unless we're talking about a complete revolution. Seriously, it's not going to happen.
What's not going to happen? What's not going to happen?
Where she said she gets tired of having to settle and everything like that. It's not going to change.
Not in our lifetime.
Yeah, not in our lifetimes. Yeah, it's not.
I don't think there's going to be a perfect candidate. I don't think there'll ever be like a perfect candidate. I think Obama damn near was because he
literally was, like, seriously. He
ran absolutely. Obama damn near was because he was black. He knew how to talk that talk. He was going singing Al Green when he needed to.
Right.
He knew how to change the inflection in his voice. And he had a powerful black woman who had a black mama, and they had some black kids. And he was articulate. He was on paper. He was like, for Black America, he was the perfect candidate because we put all our hope and faith into him that, okay, we get him in the office, they ain't gonna change for us. Some of us looked at it as just a symbolic victory, but it was like, okay, well, when he get past the first term, he gonna start representing for us. Now we know if Trump gets past his first term, he gonna represent for his base. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the thing, though. It's just a simple math equation. So if you say his base is white people, that's 60% of the population. If you're the president of the United States, it's harder to put an agenda for just 12% of the population and get it to pass through everyone else. It's just harder. No matter who's
they do it for the immigrants. They do it for the gays.
Right, and that's what I'm saying about Kamala.
What president has done that?
What are you talking about? They do it for the immigrants and the LGBT.
No.
So what's different for us?
Barack jumped through all kind of hoops for the dang on LGBTQIA community.
Yeah,
right.
To get them what? What did they get though? I mean, maybe
equality.
Married,
okay.
they got
married is a lot.
Man, okay, I get the marriage inequality thing. Because I'm not in that community, I do underestimate how big that was. But what thing are you looking for a candidate to do for the Black community? What
reparations?
Reparations.
Come on, man, that's never going to happen. Seriously,
I disagree.
Why?
I think that Obama could have did.
Did you not see that bill they passed when the pandemic started? Absolutely, it can happen.
Easy. They found that money real fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now they're just hitting print. That's it. Just hitting print.
Yeah.
It's not going to go. I understand what you're saying. It's needed and it should have happened a while ago, but it's not going to happen.
Obama dropped the ball on that. Y'all's favorite president.
Not going to happen.
Listen, my thing is this. for Obama, I think I really liked Obama as a candidate. I voted for him twice. I raised money for him. I campaigned for him. But there were a lot of things that he did that I feel just let us down. When he said he didn't believe in reparations, that was a major letdown. I don't understand how you cannot critique a presidential candidate or a politician in general, and then it be considered, oh, you're just hating on a black man. Oh, you're just hating on a black woman. No, they're flawed. Yeah. No, they have things that they need to address. You know, that's how politics works. That's how politics works. You know, I give you my vote. I'm your constituent. You take care of me. Not just I give you my vote and then you just do whatever. So these folks that are just like, well, why are you guys so against a black woman? Man, miss me with all that. Miss me with all that.
They simplifying it. It's, I mean, like you said, there are things in the past, but I'm just at this point in mid to late August 2020. Hey, we can fight that battle another day, man.
I agree with that.
I agree. Like I said, I'm gonna hold my nose. I'm gonna hold my nose and vote for Joe because I'll be honest with you. At one point in time, I really liked Joe. When Joe was younger, Joe was a beast on the debate. I mean, he was letting cats have it. You know, I really liked him as the vice president because I thought he was capable, intelligent, and he really, had Obama's back. Now, 4 years later, I really think he missed opportunity. But his life went in shambles. He lost his son. I understand how he probably just didn't have the heart to run. But now he's older, and when you hear Joe talk,
I'm scared something's gonna slip out.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because Trump's not articulate at all. But Joe was kind of. Yeah.
I think Joe drinks.
Yeah, and Joe.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Don't blame it on the alcohol.
No, it's not that.
You mentioned his son. He mentioned that with Kamala too, though. I guess she was an state AG to sometime his son was or something. I don't know, but they were like really close, and he had evidently talked her up to him a long time ago. So
listen, by the time Obama had been in office for maybe 2 months into his second term, I was over him and Joe. All of it. Especially once he said he don't believe in reparations. I was just like, I wasted 2 votes on you.
I only wasted 1.
What happened? What you talking about? You didn't vote for him twice?
I did not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I voted for him twice.
I did. But I thought he was gonna go off second term. Like I think I was an apologist the first term, and I was like, man, he got to get elected again. He gonna get in there. We're gonna get reparations. He gonna be putting black people in positions of power. He gonna do all this stuff, and then he got in there and didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing for us.
Look, when he won, when we
got him in
the second time, I went up there for when we got him in there the second time, I went up there for the inauguration. I was with everybody doing the electric slide and everything. It was cold and stuff. We was like, we was getting it. We was getting it in D.C. And then what happened?
He got you in D.C.
Got him.
Played you.
Got us in D.C.
Got him.
I'm not got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Like I said, I think that you can expect or you want a lot, but I think to expect a lot is unrealistic. I think what they're able to do is just an indictment. Like again, I keep saying it, of the country that we live in. It's never going to be ever reparation. Just go ahead and get that out of your mind right now.
But he didn't even try.
You can say that, but I'm a believer in the law of attraction. And if you just lay down and say I'm not going to do it, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. That might be your mindset. But if you just sit there and say, you know what, it's never going to happen, so we just going to let the LGBTQIA demand what they want. We just let the Hispanics and the immigrants demand what they want. But we just sit here and give you our vote and say, okay, yes, and master, here's our vote, and then we'll show up next time. Nah, man, miss me with that.
That's you got to have it. Honest though. That's intellectually honest to say me saying there's not going to be reparations is saying me massa. Because I said there's not going to be reparations. That's little stuff like that is what turns people off to certain people saying stuff like that.
How are you turned off to something that is
no? I'm not talking. I'm talking about that's why people don't.
How are you turned off to something that is owed to you. That's why I understand Negroes be like, well, why do we need reparations? Because we do. I really don't understand the black people that say, I'm leaving this country because I don't want to be here. Man, do you know what our ancestors did to build this country? This is our country. Why
that
same logic people use the same about relationships and doesn't make sense.
She said sold twice.
Yeah.
End up back on the block.
Again,
Right.
I understand. I'm not
right.
They
want to talk about that.
I'm not saying it's not due, but I'm just saying it's not gonna in my lifetime or your lifetime, it's not gonna happen.
But with a black president, he should have at least tried. He could have put together a committee to find out the feasibility. He could have put together strategy meetings. He could have talked about it. He could have said it was owed. He could have made the government do a public apology and say, if this is something that is feasible, we will work to see if it's possible. Instead of just saying, nah, I don't believe in that. Psych, got y'all again. Y'all thought I was about to come in here and turn up for black folks. Go ahead, get your hot sauce. It's over. No, he let y'all down. Me too.
He didn't let me
Not
down.
you, because
He
you
let
ain't vote for him the
y'all,
second time.
Yeah, they did.
He got me.
I didn't put that much hope in it, to be honest with you.
I did. I put a lot of hope in
The
him.
president is symbolic.
I was dancing in the parking lot in my apartment complex with his black ass.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean the president is symbolic?
I'm saying that there's a lot of there's a very limited set of things that they can do.
Executive orders.
Yeah, have you seen what Trump's been doing?
What has he done though? I understand
Executive orders.
What?
He's making up stuff.
No. What I'm saying is,
Oh
no,
my goodness.
I understand the executive order, and half of them have been reversed because they were unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's true too. Like even with the unemployment, I don't think that's going to go.
You're looking at this stuff. Oh, he made an executive order, right? Just so you could say he did an executive order. It did not stand up in court. So what did he just waste time?
How many did you say were reversed? How many did you say were reversed?
I just said I don't know, but some more
you
than
said
one.
half. You said
two.
half, right?
Yeah, I have.
You said half, right? You said half. Guess
Mhm.
what? Guess what? That other half is way more than what Obama did for us.
Obama did executive order.
So there you go.
Well. I understand.
For who though? Not for you.
For who?
Again, I understand what you're saying. I just think that you're setting yourself up for failure when you expect the president to come in and do something. Just him. You don't hold people responsible. Your state could pass reparations. Your city, like Asheville, North Carolina, could pass reparations. So you're looking at the president to do something that can be handled on multiple levels.
No, I'm not saying that those people shouldn't be held accountable. I'm saying that when we voted in a black president twice, he should have been leading the charge. And what does that do for our movement? I've been telling people to vote locally too, because I think that the governor has more impact on our day-to-day lives than the president does. That's why I told people I'm more concerned about Parsons being elected than Trump. And then what do you do? Come in doing such dumb stuff he already got, or whatever. But Missouri's a mess anyway. But the point is that we went to bat for him, and he did not go to bat for us. Whether our expectations were too outrageous or not, none of our expectations were met. Absolutely nothing was met, except we got to see.
And what does it do? And what does it do for your cause, your movement, when the first black president says, "Nah, I don't agree with that"?
It takes the steam out.
What's it do? It cuts your knees right out. It cuts your knees right out, and we're supposed to just be like, "Oh, that's cool, Barry. No, that's cool."
All I'm saying is this: you until you come with a viable alternative that can literally work, then we just gonna have a bunch of wops, white ass presidents.
Man, hey. But on the real though, I'm a 43-year-old man. I got 3 grown daughters. But when that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion WAP came on, hey, I be jamming to that. Dude.
You see, I had to switch my wig so he could feel like he cheating.
Hey, for real, when that song came out, all I saw was like people talking about the line where Cardi B said she don't cook, she don't clean, and she still got a ring or something like that from like an interview or something like that. But then when I heard that it was a song, I was like, man, let me check this out. And then when they had that Frank Ski, you know, there's some hoes in this house. I was like, because I was just like, I didn't know it was Kylie Jenner. I didn't know it was Kylie Jenner until people said it. I was like,
I didn't know who most of them people were.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I saw the video first. I probably wouldn't have heard the song if it wasn't for the video.
Right.
Because I mean, you know, whatever.
What do y'all think about the controversy about people saying like it's just over the top, and of course the kids and everything. People are condemning Cardi and Meg for the content of the song. What do y'all think about that?
I think with every generation, it just keeps getting riskier and riskier. Like, you know, we was listening to Little Kim and Foxy Brown. I know my mom and grandma wouldn't have been necessarily bumping that. So I think that's just what it is. I do hope, like, you know, it does stop because it is influential to young Black girls. Like, I think the whole stripper culture is kind of being, like, normalized now. And so, but I mean, I think it's just important as parents to, like, you know, redirect your kids. Like, I was bumping NWA, but I didn't, you know, go and put a rag on and start shooting up anything, you know, because I had a stronger foundation at home. But I also know there's a lot of kids who don't have that foundation, who probably are, you know, influenced more by, you know, the mumble rappers that are popping pills and the female rappers that are showing way too much in the video. So I don't know. I got mixed feelings.
Not me. I say go for it. Because for one, we saw this meme where they have music from like the 1930s or something, and this dude, his song was something about I stroke my girl's guap every day, but he was saying the word like in the song, and it's like from the 1900s, and then it's a woman talking about some, if you suck mine, I'll suck yours. We was like, what's happening with these songs? So I think there's always been risque music, and I do agree that there are children out there that don't have role models, but that's on us as a community to start reaching out and mentoring these kids. That's not on people like Cardi B. Cardi B is a stripper, and if you letting her influence your children, that's your fail as a parent. As for me, I'm going to be dancing to it. Matter of fact, I was listening to it all day trying to get a video to it, but I just don't have no rhythm. I couldn't get it together. But, I mean, part of the people have a problem. A lot of men that I've seen have a problem with that. I don't cook, I don't clean, but I got this ring. And I'm just like, did y'all honestly believe that she cooked and cleaned? She has a maid and a chef. Right. Like, do you really think that her husband Offset has domesticated her and she's walking around the house with a laundry basket on weekends? Like, y'all didn't really think that. Beyonce's not doing laundry on the weekends. Right. She's not birthing babies and stuff like that. She has nannies, she has maids, chefs. Like, these women are not domesticated. And just because she said it, it doesn't mean your wife's going to stop cooking for you now. Now you got to worry about how you going to eat when you get home. Like, stop it.
Honestly, I know me, my friends, shoot, all my boys, we know how to cook anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like I was depending upon my wife to be cooking and cleaning. I mean, my mom told when I was like 12, she was like, "Hey, I'm not doing your laundry anymore. It's on you. So you got to learn how to do it." So we all the kids, we all had like my wash night was Tuesday. So I had to wash my clothes on Tuesday. My brother was like Thursday. My sister was, seriously. So
I thought it was just my mama.
No.
I got to junior high. Yep. I got to junior high, and she pulled out the ironing board, and she taught me how to iron. Yep. And it was like, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. She was all kind and everything. And when she saw that I could do it, like her whole demeanor changed. Look, from now on, you iron your own clothes. Yep. The only clothes I iron are your father's. And I was like, dang, okay. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to cook. I learned how to fend for myself. Mm-hmm. My family, the men cook. And my family, the men cook. It wasn't until my father passed away where my mom was like, okay, I guess I need to cook for y'all or whatever. But I mean, I saw a lot of dudes with a problem that had a problem with the song. I understand what Arik is saying. Because I'll be honest with you, as soon as this pandemic is over, I'm gonna be in Club Onyx and STL listening to WAP. We're gonna take the Man Listen show on the road for sure.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, my daughters are grown now, so they driving their own, they living their own life or whatever. But when they were in high school, junior high, when I was driving them, like I had to censor the music that I listen to because, like, as a man, you don't want to listen to that type of music. around your daughters. And now that I think about it, as a father, I should have been the same way around my son.
True.
Because with my son, I was, I listen to cuss words, whatever, because I'm like, he's a boy. I know I want to treat my girls with a lot more respect, but I should have been teaching him the same thing. Hey, listen. And I did. I said, man, this is all make believe, right? All this talk is not the way you should treat women. It's not, it's not the way that you should treat other Black men. But I think I made a mistake in that regard by not censoring that music for him as well, because like I said, the dumb are led by the drum, and I think it's a problem. I agree with the people that say it's men trying to control women's sexuality, because I do think that's a big part of it. I think patriarchy is a part of it. But where does it go next though? Yeah. But I really don't see the difference between the WAP video and the things that Little Kim and Trina were saying. Honestly, we were in college. Honestly, there's really not much of a difference other than it's more commercial and people have more access to it.
Yeah, it's a difference. It might not be a big difference, but there's a difference.
No, the video is tamer. The video itself is a lot less tame than, like, say, a Tip Drill or a Ludacris P-popping. It's a lot tamer video.
Yeah, but those videos, we weren't going to come home after school at 3:30 and watch. Now these kids can watch anything. They can pull up anything on the phone. We grew up in an era to where you had to tape, you had to look for the one with the E just so you could hear the good cuss words. People was making a whole album for the radio and a whole album that, you couldn't play on the radio. And right now, even with that whole WAP, they're not saying the word, but come on now, you know what it is. Like we kind of like grew up in the era where like Snoop would say something really dumb and we'd be like, okay, what's the real version? We know that's the cuss word, but they weren't saying stuff like this. It's different. It's a lot different.
Even wet and gushy is inappropriate for me. Like
I
was
that's what I'm saying.
Is that the edited version?
Wet and gushy.
I watched the video one time. That's the only time I heard the song, because it's not my cup of tea per se.
No, the censored version is wet and gushy.
I saw the meme.
So imagine your niece or your daughter saying, "I got that wet and gushy." You felt all types of uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. So we had like those crazy videos and songs that you'd have to watch like really, really late at night, or like I said, you had to have the uncut. Yeah. And now you don't.
No. I mean that is a different. But just the actual what's happening in the video is pretty tame. The actual lyrics were worse than the video to me.
I guess maybe I'm a bad parent because we were sure listening to WAP in the car today on the way to gymnastics.
Oh man, but you know what?
That's the thing though. So my thing has always been exposure, full disclosure, and then an honest conversation about it. So my daughter's not singing it. She knows she can't say it around me, but I know that she has access to it. She listens to TikTok all day long. She knows more songs than I will ever.
She's singing it.
Right. So, but she's doing that whether she's doing it around me or not. And so like what I did was she did a TikTok to some Megan song, and that dance where she calls herself ratchet and bougie or something like that. And I was just like, is that how you want people? Do you think that it's okay for people to call you ratchet? And she was like, no. And I was like, so why would you put that on the internet and represent that as yourself? I was like, just because it's popular or it's a TikTok, you still have to consider whether or not that's appropriate for you. And if that's how you want to self-identify. And if that's not how you want to self-identify, then you don't need to perpetuate that, not on social media and not in your life. And then so she took it down, but I kind of put her in a position to make that decision for herself instead of me just telling her, no, don't do this, then it's taboo. And now she's just sitting over here in the corner doing it anyway.
Yeah, it's going to make her want to do it more if you tell her don't.
And I listen to a lot of cuss words in the car, which I shouldn't, but I cuss them out every day.
So, right. Yeah, for real. But I think it's somewhat hypocritical for a lot of people in our demographic to talk about that, because like our show played Too Short. Our show played 2 Live Crew. I played NWA. I played all that stuff, and it was extremely misogynistic, and the lyrics were terrible. So it's very hypocritical for us to get on our high horse, even though, like I said, when we talked about Snoop and DMX, you age, you become older and wiser and more mature. But Arika's story is important because you were there to redirect her, right? but there are several young girls who don't have that redirection. And that's why what C said when we first started talking about the topic, it is problematic. But is that really the responsibility of Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion? They're entertainers,
Right.
they're entertainers, and sex sells. And that song is going to make them a ton of money because it's catchy and it's a nice beat. And honestly, people talk about the mumble rappers and how, like it ain't really hip hop and they're not really flowing. A lot of the lyrics, if you listen to what they was talking about, it was some catchy stuff that they were talking about. It's it's sexual and nasty, but I would take their rap over a lot of these mush mouth dudes that are rhyming right now. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing with it is there are people who say it's empowering, it's giving women power. Kind of back to what you were saying, Marv, about the men being a little salty. I saw someone say when it comes to sex, men are taught that's something that you do to women, not something that you enjoy with women. So when you find something that women are enjoying it, some men get offended and get taken aback. Like, hey, you're not supposed to enjoy that without me. You're not supposed to have pleasure without me. And I had to actually think about it. I was like, man, that's a pretty deep concept. And it makes sense though.
Yeah. And hopefully, because I was able to have that conversation with my daughter, maybe she can plant that seed in some other people who may not have someone having that conversation with them. But if we just avoid the conversation, if we just avoid the subject, then she just gonna be over in the corner doing it with them. Ain't gonna be no difference.
Just let her listen to the Kids Bop version. Listen. Chores in this house. Chores in this house.
Oh my God. These kids, they don't know what chores are around here. I need to get my kids together.
I see both sides of the story, and I don't want to be hypocritical. But like C said, there is a line that needs to be drawn. But how do we draw it though? Like, how do we put a stop to it? Like, do we, ask for them to be censored? Like, in what way can we really put it in check? Because like you said, there's always going to be another rapper who's going to take it to the next level. How can we really change it?
That's a difficult conversation.
It is. It's a culture, and that's what's popping right now. Is that a culture? They got that new show on TV too. It's apparently doing pretty well. So.
And see, and that's like my husband said that Cardi song "Be Careful" is his favorite song, but it never really got that much hype, and so she gonna do what she do. That's making her money. That's like when Jay-Z said, he did 5 and he been rhyming like common sense.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, that's real though.
Common sense.
Yeah.
I did 5 mil.
You gonna do what's making you some money because I mean that's your livelihood. Why not do it? And so once we have to change our own culture before we can expect our entertainment to change. So the shift has to happen with us first, which is clearly not happening because, I mean.
Yeah. It's clearly not happening because we're going to be at Club Onyx in STL in Indianapolis when this is over, as soon as we can travel. But anyway, I think we talked about it enough. We'll go ahead and end the show. Make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, basically everywhere you podcast, Man Listen Show. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. Share the show. Make sure you use the hashtag Man Listen. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Holla.
Shout out to Kimberly Hunter. She was on Instagram and said she enjoys every show that we do. We appreciate you, Kimberly.
Thanks.
Much appreciated.
Yes.